Hey. So, I didn't feel like I was quite done talking about the trip. And since I'm having a rest day from getting back, I figured I'd do a part two. So yeah, the first night was hard because my son didn't like being in one hotel room. Even though we had two beds, one hotel room, he was just like opening and closing all the doors and pretending to play elevator and all kinds of racket. And I forgot the noise canceling headphones, and we my husband booked in a hotel room instead of an Airbnb. So, two strikes, and then my son didn't sleep, so three strikes for the first night. It was very difficult. But we got up and we went the next day, and we had to deal with the trolley fiasco because their shuttle or trolley was out, and so we had to do this like van that fit 14 people, and we had to do like wait 3-4 times in order for us to get on. And there was like this big dance competition at Universal, and like a million Australian people with their kids that danced. And in the back of my head, I was like, why didn't they just get a van for themselves or a bus? Anyway, that's the hardship of picking a hotel with a hotel room, because it's part of a package for Universal Studios, and everyone wants to use the shuttle. But the Hotel the Garland was really cool. It had kind of a late 60s, early 70s vibe, and had a nice fireplace. And I would have loved to just like kind of just chill and hang by the pool and have my meal. And they had movie nights, and I tried to watch a little bit of like Goonies with my daughter, but she wanted to go in after a while, which is fine. But yeah, I just feel like I was in between, like, what kind of vacation do I want to have? I mean, and I'm not talking about just because we have the kids. Like, I thought about it. Like, even we thought about coming back another time for, like, maybe my husband's birthday and doing Universal our way and stuff. And it's like doing the whole, like, really active stuff and being at a place for hours and hours on end and lines on end versus, like, taking an R&R and just being in a hotel and like hanging by the pool and eating cool meals and chilling and reading a book and stuff like that. you know so balancing that is the hard part. And I finished one of my library books that I had, which I'm going to do a different TikTok about because it's a really cool nonfiction book about Black history, American history, with a Black point of view, because we don't talk about Black history as American history. But I want to dedicate a whole TikTok to that. So we went another day because we had a 2-day pass at Universal. And, overall, Bruce, my son, he didn't run away too much from us. We had to kind of look for him a few times, but better than usual. I just think it was hard because he just doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want to be at the place. It's too much. But we did the Universal tour, and he did that. It's a whole hour of sitting and like going through all these different places, which was cool. We did the Minions ride the second day, which was cool, and a couple other things. But my son just didn't want to do as much. But he did try some new stuff. And I took a lot of pictures. I took a lot of video. But, it's just a lot of long lines. And, like, one of us as a parent has to decide who's going to stay with our son because he wants to be by himself, but we have to be nearby, but we have to give him space, which I talked about in the previous TikTok. But we did the best we can. We got them McDonald's back at the at the hotel after a long day of them doing all that work. And my daughter got so many stuffies, so many Super Mario Brothers stuff, so many Minions and different things. So she had a blast. I even got myself a little zip-up jacket from the Bowser Challenge. But I just had a hard time not ragging on and on to my poor husband about Why don't we get VIP? We should get VIP. All these people are passing us by. Anyways, but I told him, like, if we come for his birthday, VIP, spend the money, cut the lines, stay somewhere closer. Don't worry about shuttles. It's like, I just feel that when we stand in millions of lines that might take hours and we wait to get to the things we want to do, it just crushes our souls. And I know that sometimes we have to do that, but if you were going to have a birthday and want to do something special, just spend the extra money. Anyway. So what else happened? So, the day we were supposed to check out, the cleaning staff was constantly knocking on our door before noon, even though the checkout was at noon, which was really annoying. I mean, the kids just made a mess of the room, but that's the usual. I thought it was weird that our hotel room didn't have a bathtub, but a shower, so I tried at one point to give my daughter a shower, which was not easy. But, you know, the pool, she needed to be washed, so anyway. I already said the food was pretty good at the hotel. But, you know, we packed, we got out of there before noon. A lot of the staff were on me about, like, watching my son sometimes. But I decided to give him, like, 5 or so minutes to go up and down in the elevator before we left, and he loved it. He loves being an elevator conductor, and he kept asking everybody, what floor are you going to? So, you know, we checked out a little bit before noon. I went to the gift shop to get some stuff, and then we took our car back to the car rental, even though we barely used it. Yeah, I don't know. I would utilize things differently. Anyway. I mean, we did go to Target the first night, which was good, and we got supplies and snacks, and a lot of those snacks the kids didn't even touch. There's a whole story I have about a Jif peanut butter that was unopened, and my husband put it in a carry-on, and I kept telling him to put it in the checked bag, and, well, if you know, you know, it got confiscated, because I was trying to tell him it's not about whether it's a liquid or a solid, it's about the size. And it was way too big. And I wasn't very nice to him. I was kind of being very emasculating towards him in front of lots of people in the airport, because I'm a very reactive person, and when I don't feel heard or listened to, I'll just get very mean like that. So we talked about it. I apologized, and I don't know. That's a hard one for me, to kind of just like make not a big deal about it. And I think what's hilarious is when we got on the plane. So when we first came on the plane coming to LA, to Burbank, I gave my daughter the window seat and I sat next to her. And then like a row or so behind me was my husband with our son. This time coming back, it was such a pain just to get to sit that like the kids sat with my husband and they were fighting at first. And I was like, I'm just going to sit further back, and I sat like 2 rows back, and it was so peaceful. I mean, once my son started screaming about the fact that his sister was there when she wasn't supposed to, because he's always screaming about like things aren't the way he wants them to be, and he wanted to sit with dad, and my daughter decided she wanted to sit with dad, so my husband moved in between them, and so they both got to sit, and my daughter got the window seat, so that was fine. But you know, all that fighting, all that fighting I did with my husband, in the end, I pretty much almost left my phone on the plane. And when I got off, I was like, please, 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 my phone is in the pouch there by the window, and please, they won't let you go yourself. And one girl was like, why? That's not very smart to leave it there. Da, 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 da. She said, I looked a couple of times. I didn't find it. I was like, I'm not leaving. My phone is on the plane. It was supposed to go to Santa Ana. And if it took off, then I never would have found it. So this other gentleman went on the plane. And I hear over the walkie before I was about ready to give up, I found it. I found the phone.